FC Barcelona hosted Elche in a La Liga match. 3-0 is how it ended, with Barcelona winning the game with Lewandowski scoring a brace and also goal for Memphis, while also having 5 clean sheets in the last 6 games. But before we do get into the tactical analysis, I want to ask you guys to please subscribe to the channel, as it would help us a lot to grow as a team and to grow as a channel and also create more content. Let's get into the video. I thought it would be the perfect time to talk about Barcelona's defensive problems, because Elche exploited this very perfectly. In the high press, when Elche looked to build up from the back, they had a front two that stayed put and they kept Barcelona's centre-backs from joining the press. And because Elche had wing-backs, that forced Barcelona, in whichever side they would press, to come forward with their full-backs. And this stretched Barcelona's backline a little bit, because Elche was doing this, because they had to cover more space, especially because Barcelona wanted to press the back three, which means one of the full-backs actually became an outlet. Another problem with the high press was because Barcelona's front men had to press a back 5. That meant more often than not, Elche had men back to actually beat the press. And also Elche's front two made opposite movements, almost like a false 9 and a number 9, which meant that if one of the players would actually drop to get close to the ball, there was space in behind the defender. However, unfortunately, the other player could not exploit this by running in behind. So there was possibilities where Elche could actually receive the ball, where they would look to attack Barcelona's goal. But unfortunately, this did not happen. Elche's front two was also very pivotal in getting them upfield. They were not tasked to pin back the back line. In fact, they operated just behind Barcelona's midfield to be the outlets from the centre-backs. This created acres of space between Barca's midfield and defence. But Xavi countered this by having a very high line in order to leave the space rather behind them, which means that Elche would now target the space in behind Barcelona's defence. This is why all Elche's attacks that they had were scored offside. To counter this, Barca actually played with a 5 in midfield, with Frenkie de Jong dropping deeper and actually defending really narrow in order to counter this from Elche. In the build-up phase, Elche didn't press particularly high, as they know the threat of Barcelona. So they met Barcelona halfway, allowing them to do the first phase of build-up. And this was not like previous times, where Barcelona would build up through whichever side depending on how the opposition pressed. However, the centre-backs were a little bit deeper in this instance, so that Barcelona could actually determine themselves through which side they would want to build up. So even if the opposition pressed, they would play the ball into Frenkie, where he will decide to where the ball goes, whichever side Barcelona would actually press through. When the ball was through one side, Barcelona come together to actually draw the whole team narrow. But the opposition free 8 would actually go up really high in order to keep them narrow, while the winger would go out really wide. Now that Dembele is a 2-man wrecking crew, teams tend to defend with a back 5. Xavi now has stars the extra midfielder to go in to draw them even narrow, which creates tons of space for the likes of Lewandowski to operate in. However, if Lewandowski does not take advantage of the space, it would either be another midfielder, but often in this game we found out that it was Frailties that was doing this. I think it's important to also talk about why Memphis Depay has started this game. In the previous league game, we saw that Memphis Depay was doing all sorts of movements where he would get involved by dropping into midfield, where one of the defenders would follow him, but they could unfortunately not take advantage of the space. This is why we have seen that Robert Lewandowski has come into play with Memphis Depay, where Alejandro Balde was keeping the width, which in turn allowed Memphis Depay to go into the half space next to Robert Lewandowski. And also to compensate for the width, the opposite, depending on which side they built through, would actually make the fifth defender, where the other midfielder would stay next to Frankie, creating a double pivot. Now when Memphis would get involved and a defender follows him, that would mean that Robert Lewandowski was easily in behind to get involved. But Lewandowski is also somebody that himself that can draw two players at least, and then that would mean that Memphis Depay was being able to get in behind the defense of the opposition and score against them as well. Barca had a normal 3-5 build-up shape where Alejandro Balde would go forward, the double pivot. But because Memphis Depay is somebody that likes to get involved in the build-up, that affected Barcelona's front line. But Pedri kept on making these runs straight to the middle, where Barcelona would have 6 players against Elche's 5. But that just forced Elche into a back 6, and that is why the game maybe went so stale after half time. Barcelona makes it 5 straight wins in the league and put lots of pressure on Real Madrid, since the Madrid derby is also coming up. But let me know down in the comment section, what do you think about the game? Let me know your thoughts definitely, because I do want to hear them. And also don't forget to like my Facebook page and also to subscribe to the channel. You guys are much appreciated and I thank you very much. I love you guys. Thanks for watching the game and the video, and keep on supporting Barcelona. Thank you very much.